1 2 everybody. You're locked into the long minute with Rocken Larry Locken here on the What's Your Opinion channel in association with Opinion the Facts channel on YouTube. I'd like to thank the owner of both channels, Kenny Jackson, for letting me have this opportunity on the What's Your Opinion show to do my own shows, do my own kind of commentary on social events, as well as produce some shows. I'd like to give also a shout out to my man Oak, who helps co-host on the Opinion That Facts channel with Kenny, the Black Man Show, every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. back on the East Coast. The East Coast, excuse me. I'm a little out of practice. It's been a while since I've been on air. I've been dealing with some issues, which I'll get to in a second. But I'd also like to give a shout out to the incomparable Miss D, the woman of the hour with all the power, too sweet to be sour. The Miss D Show coming your way. Going to start coming your way on Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be doing that. I'll be producing that show for her because Miss D has a lot of thoughts and a lot of opinions and a lot of wisdom to share. And she's worth hearing. There's nobody quite like her. And it's an honor to produce that show for her. And, chime in every now and then, but Miss D has a lot to say on a lot of topics. She's very in touch and very in tune, and we're going to be we'll be doing that this Saturday on the 20th at 3 p.m. like I said, and so I look forward to that on the What's Your Opinion channel. If you don't catch it live, you can catch the replay on the YouTube channel. It'll also be on Twitter and our Facebook page as well. So I'd like to encourage everybody to do that, but being locked into the long minute with Larry Locken. It's going to be a long couple minutes. First of all, I've been out for a while because I have pancreatitis. I'm probably going to end up having to have my gallstones or my gallbladder removed. I've got some stones still in there, and the fact of the matter is I'm really claustrophobic, you guys. I'm just extremely claustrophobic, and they did not give me enough anesthesia to take the MRI. So I said, fuck that, and now stayed another day in the hospital and left. But I'm going to have to suck it up at some point, and my regular doctor, of course, will give me a Valium to deal with that. But I've got to have one of those done, and then I've got to have one done on my lower back. Thankfully, these MRI machines are a little bit open now, but I'm so claustrophobic that laying flat on my back and going in one, even a little bit with my head sticking out, it feels like a tunnel. And it just really freaks me out. I've been claustrophobic since, well, really, frankly, since I can remember. And so that's what's been going on with me. I also quit drinking. I've been sober practically 10 days now. So that's good. So I'm feeling a little bit better, just trying to get my body into shape, and been walking a lot more, and my fiance has altered my diet for me, so I'm eating a little bit better and things of that nature. So let's just get down to basically the bottom line here. First of all, I'd like to say too that I'm kind of excited. I don't watch a lot of TV anymore, unless it's sporting events, excluding the NFL. I watch a lot of Oregon Duck football, college football. And tonight I'm really excited because in my home state team, the Portland Trail Blazers, will be hosting the Los Angeles Lakers in LeBron James's first NBA game. So I'm excited for that. It'll be 7:30 p.m. out here on the West Coast. That's with my bedtime now. That's kind of late for me, but I feel for my brothers and sisters back there on the East Coast that are NBA fans and have to stay up till 10:30. I couldn't imagine. I always wondered what it was like growing up, like with Monday Night Football and whatnot, wondering what it was like because it started at 6 p.m. when I was growing up instead of 5:30 or whatever they do now. I don't know, but and I was wondering what it'd be like to wait till 9 p.m. to watch a 3-hour plus game, but hey, that's the way it goes, I guess. I got to have some perks out here in the woods. But I know people that are going to the game. I'm pretty sure my aunt and uncle who live next door were going up to Portland for the weekend, and I know that her family, my uncle's wife has season tickets to Blazer games, so I don't know whether they were sneaking up there to see LeBron's game, but it's got to be a pretty hot ticket, and I'm really honored that in Portland, Oregon, way out here in the woods where nobody knows we are, we got Seattle above us, but about 4 hours north of Portland. But it's really exciting, and my son also has one of his best friends going to the game, so we'll see how it goes, and go Blazers. I'm sure the Lakers will be scouting Damian Lillard, trying to talk him into leaving Portland. It always puzzles me because I understand, like years ago, a lot of players wouldn't want to sign out here, but it's really like a nice area where you can breathe and kind of get away, from like the hustle and bustle of especially the East Coast where it's so congested and you got a big city, you've got multiple million plus cities within an hour, 2 hours of each other. That's just so unheard of to me out here. But anyway, I'm hoping for the best for the Blazers as always, but I won't hold my breath. It's been a lifelong, 37 or 38 years of disappointment for me in my 43-year life, of closely following them. But, a couple world championship appearances that we floundered due to free throws and whatnot. But hey, that's the past. So also too, like lately, what's crazy, and I'm hoping Misty will give me a crash course when we talk tomorrow on what's been going on lately, because of the stress of my pancreatitis and because of like trying to detox my body from alcohol and bad foods and shit, what's ended up happening is the stress on my body has been too much I just can't handle this ever changing news cycle, or I'm getting back into being able to. And I just had to kind of let it go for a couple of weeks and focus on getting me healthy, and I would encourage everybody to do that if they need to, and take a break even now and then from it, because it gets to be a lot. But the fact of the matter is, there is a lot of shit going on, and there are a lot of people still unawoken. We've got the election coming up on November 6th. The midterms, very important to get out and vote. I know people are saying, oh, the Democrats are going to win in a landslide and all that. God, I hope so. I hope they do. But I won't, it's like Kenny was saying last on a show. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm 43 years old and I've been following this stuff since I was 5 in 1980, believe it or not. It's true. I was weird, weird child, a little bit of autism that they couldn't diagnose back then, and terrible ADD. But I remember, I've got a photographic memory and can remember all that stuff, and was really actively, alertly into it, and disagreeing with most adults around me about politics, especially with my grandparents, who I was, spent a lot of time with when I was younger, because my parents worked nights until I got into my early preteens when I'd stay home by myself. But, it's just really important to get out there and vote, because there's a lot of things people don't realize, and people have a lot of short-term memory in America, and they don't realize that, they may think, oh, and what is this economy of doing great bullshit? What has changed? What has changed except for the upper 1% that got a big tax break, okay? Eventually, this is going to crash, and it'll be up to another Democrat to try to fix. And I hope we don't go through the same cycle again like we have from Carter getting the economy going, to Reagan destroying it, from, Clinton getting it going again, to Bush Jr. destroying it, and Obama having to spend his first 2 years picking up the pieces, and this economy that so-called is helping any middle class or lower middle class person out. If that's the fact, that was created under Obama, okay? It wasn't created under Trump and his fucking big tax break. I mean, I think some people got, $6 to $12 extra on their check a few times. I mean, come on. Let's be real. And I think people are more voting now because I think they're disgusted with Trump, and that's a good thing, because even if he was doing everything right, even if this guy was doing everything right and you agreed with him, his tactics and his tact are fucked. Okay? You know what I mean? His tact, his couth. You can't get away with acting that way. I don't care who you are. You know what I mean? And it's disgusting that people just let that go and think that's funny and think that's cool. It's not. You know, I don't know what's really going on with Saudi Arabia right now, but you know, I mean, I don't really care. That's just a dog and pony show. The journalists being killed. I hope there is some satisfaction for that. I hope that it's really gotten to the bottom of it. I don't believe Trump. I think Trump's just given a good line of bullshit when he says that, you know, there will be hell to pay if Saudi Arabia was involved with this and all that. And then again, maybe it's a ruse to go to war with them. Who knows? Who knows what's it creeps in the minds of people that are in his ear, you know, like John Bolton and Kelly, and who supposedly got in a big argument. I saw the headline. I'm sure it was a big argument. People don't know what the fuck goes on behind closed doors. I used to be deeply into political campaigning, and just even the level I got to, you don't know what's planned and talked about behind closed doors. These people could have this. It could be nothing but bullshit, or it could be a lot, or it could be a lot worse than it's portrayed. Even where they're shouting matches all the time. I mean, they have a, you know, even the most disorganized situation has a little bit of a finger on the pulse of what people think and can control the narrative a little bit, you know, spin things, and people make more out of shit than it is, or people don't talk about it enough, you know. So that's what's going on. My big problem I think I have, and I'm all over the place, but I don't care, is that people that are unawoke, which is most people in America, believe it or not most people that are going to ever hear this tiny little show that I've got right now on here, or what I'm saying. But a lot of people just aren't paying attention to politics. They don't know. They say it bores them. Well, they're not into politics. Well, what do you know, now that, you know, shit just got real here recently in the last couple of years. I don't understand that, because what do you mean you're not into politics? You mean you're not into how your life's being affected around you, how others' lives are being affected around you, you know, the slow consequences coming for the next generation around you. If you're not at least in tune with what's going on in your nation, you know, it's one thing to take a break from it now and then, but man, we really got some problems in this country that we got to solve before we ever go forward. And Trump has set us back decades. Race relations, back decades. Unbelievable. But it's really not so much him. It's, in one way, I guess, he's kind of bringing all these people to light, though. All the true racists to light, and all these idiots that, you know, and it's funny because racism usually goes along with ignorance, usually goes along with wanting a guru to worship, per se, like a Trump or whatever it is, a religious ideologue, some pastor, some minister to listen to dictate to you what you think. You know, that kind of, you know, it takes an ignorance like that to be, usually to be racist, okay? You follow something like that. You know, it's not like listening to somebody you like or enjoy, per se, but, you know, that's just another human being. These people worship these people like their word like it's gold, and could give a fuck less how these people act in their personal life, or give a fuck less about how they act and conduct themselves with other world leaders, or just people, or just shit that you say. A sane person doesn't say the shit that Donald Trump does. Come on. You know, get out, and people need to get out and vote. And yeah, I am, you know, as a white guy, I am I'm discouraged by my own race and disgusted by him. I really guess I always have been. And the thing is I look at it this way. It's a good thing that our race is fading and being mixed, because that these old white fucking crows that are dying out, that's a good thing. You know, these people that have been in the Senate and Congress for so long, you know, people like Lindsey Graham and Chuck Grassley and Bob Corker and Orrin Hatch. I mean, these guys practically need a feeding tube to eat, okay? And even a few Democrats too, but, you know, I'm more focused on getting rid of these right-wing ideologues, okay, out of there. But the thing is, and like Kenny had mentioned, we're talking about, they have packed the court systems now to where it's almost to the point where it's going to set our country back, 40, 50 years with issues, women's rights issues, minority rights issues, voter suppression, things of that nature. And they want this to happen. They don't want our country to be united. Kenny brought up a good point. The Electoral College, that would show that we were a free society if we got rid of that. That takes a hell of a lot to get rid of. It may not happen in my lifetime, but we need to damn sure fight to make sure that it happens in our grandchildren's or our children's lifetime. We need to make sure that we just keep fighting that good fight to get rid of it. And voter suppression, expose it wherever it's going on. I've said many times, my home state of Oregon, we do a mail-in ballot or a drop-off ballot. It's double counted by reps from both parties and ran through a machine, triple verifying it. Okay, every state should do that. The states' rights bullshit. What is the states' rights bullshit? There are certain things that should be federally guaranteed. The way we vote should be federally united. Okay, the way we certain laws, abortion, Roe v. Wade, should not be messed with, and these states are allowed to do that though by having limited abortion clinics, like in North Dakota, one. Okay. They've got two fairly decent sized towns in Bismarck and Fargo. They're not in big metro areas by any stretch, but there is no abortion clinic in Bismarck. You got to go to Fargo, I believe. I could be wrong. It could be Bismarck, but I'm pretty sure the one is in Fargo. Things of that nature, these redneck states are allowed to do, and federally, marijuana, all drugs really should be decriminalized because it's none of anybody's business what anybody else is doing unless it's affecting a child or an unwilling adult, okay? I mean, alcohol and tobacco are out there. It would only make sense that everything else should be legal. And really, even if it was a really bad thing, it's nobody's business. You can't police and regulate people. We need to get out of that kind of mode as a nation. And I'm trying my damnedest to fucking educate white people around me and trying to, good white people. There's about 10% of us out there that really get it, but then there's about 30 to 35%, another 20 to 25% besides that 10 that really just they're not, I wouldn't consider them really racist people, but they're kind of asleep people that need to be in tune with this stuff and know the undertones of Republican racism, and that party promotes race. Yes, there's race. I heard some guy calling in Kenny's show. There's racists in both parties. There are racists in both parties. But when's the last time you heard a Democrat or so-called liberal progressive? Which I am a liberal. I am a liberal because if you look up that definition, and I will, like I said, I won't tell you what it is on mine. I'll make people, if they give a fuck, half a fuck, to look the word up. Okay? So, you don't see one liberal that goes into creating a bill that is anti-minority or creating a bill that would take away a woman's right to choose or limit a woman's right to choose. You don't see that. So, I mean, that argument is kind of, very old to me and lame because we're dealing with issues. Okay. The Democrats' only problem is that they don't have, they need to get a backbone. They've needed to get a backbone for a long time and fight these people. Look, like Michael Avenatti said, okay, and I'm not promoting Michael Avenatti. I have my own opinions on him. I kind of like the guy. We'll see where he goes. But it's going to take somebody out there that's not kumbaya, love thy neighbor bullshit. It's going to take somebody in the campaign to fight it out in the gutter with Trump. Because if you show any sign of weakness, I'm telling you what, Trump will run roughshod right over him. He'll run complete roughshod over him and eat him for breakfast, unless you're willing to go toe-to-toe with that motherfucker. Okay, and we need somebody like him to do that. I think personally, I'd vote for any Democrat over Trump. There's a lot of good ones out there. But we need somebody to be able to campaign, and then after they're done campaigning, unite, work on uniting the country, not keep working like they're campaigning like Trump does, or getting his ego fed by his base. Okay, we need somebody that's gonna try to talk some sense into people and do the best that they can. You know what I mean? And get a Congress and a Senate around them that's not 82 years old on average. Okay, and preferably not really right-wing Republican ideologues that, everything's religion and God and guns and, protecting the right of the little fetuses, as my man Bob Kincaid would say, the little fetuses, which they care so much about, but don't give a shit about once they're born. Once they're born, they'll like to cut your school lunch programs and do all that kind of shit and cut and cut and cut so they can have that money to give another tax break to the wealthy. I mean, this isn't rocket science, people. History. I've watched this over my lifetime go on. So people that don't know, I mean, get yourself fucking awoken. Get yourself connected. Okay, you better get yourself connected. The writing has been on the fucking wall for decades. All right. I mean, know what's going on. Don't just have this attitude of, well, don't matter who I vote for. They're all the same. Or I love Trump. The thing is, the other day, I was so pissed off. I went to Walmart, which is always a stressful fucking trip. I hate that place. It's, and what rednecks we do have around here go there to shop, of course. And I got so pissed off. We were waiting to back out, me and my fiance, and this truck was driving by slowly with a Trump sticker on it. And, and I said, and I set out the window, typical gas guzzling American driving a fucking over truck like that. He's making huge payments on that he thinks is real cool, that guzzles gas that he really don't need, And then I said that, and some guy in the car over and his fucking wife, they both, they were getting ready to go back to no offense, but getting ready to go back to their trailer park, I'm sure. No offense to people who live in trailer parks, but I mean, you get my fucking point, people. Okay, and he's all, babe, I like Trump, go Trump, and I fucking put my fucking finger down and said, no way. They're still backing out, and they're like, oh, better than Obama, and I'm like, that's the most intelligent thing you can say is better than Obama, better than Obama. First of all, somebody like that you can never have a conversation with because they couldn't comprehend a political talk about the issues. Okay, so that's point one right there. But that's just disgusting. That's why I'm disgusted with the white race. If it isn't these rich white prick fucking elitists, it's these fucking hillbilly, no consciousness, fucking gut hanging out of their shirt wearing, and the women look the same. Chew spitting morons that have no clue. They have Fox News on all day, or better than Obama. Just the intelligence of that is really minimal. It's like Oak was saying the other night. I get a shout out again to Oak on the Black Man Show with Kenny Jackson. Was saying that he made a really good point about the Trump slogan that's completely fucking ridiculous anyway, to make America great again. America's never been fucking great. I don't even like it. The question gets asked, when was America great? That's becoming even a lame question to ask, because anybody that doesn't know the fucking answer to it wouldn't even be worth the time to even have a talk with or waste air with. Okay. Because America never was great, and it never has ran worth a shit internally, for as far as doing the right things for people. In fact, it's quite horrendous, and we'll get into that. But it never was great. It's still a work in progress. But I don't like even saying that, because even a work in progress doesn't mean a lynching and murdering and committing the genocide, basically, of at least two races. And you can kind of say, to Latinos as well, the genocide done to Native Americans by white people, white settlers, and the even worse genocide done to African Americans, done to black people in America. It's just fucking sickening. The lynching. We are so afraid as a society. This is what goes out to mostly white people. They're so afraid to face the reality of what really was done. They don't want to look at really what was done. I think people that are in tune really have a hard time. And I can understand that if you have ancestry that was treated that way, you have a hard time coming to grips with just how bad it was. It was a genocide, people. This was a genocide, torture and genocide done on African Americans. All kinds of genetic manipulation tried on them with God knows what techniques, with his body parts, fucking with their mind, just all kinds of sick shit that really, people from the white race would only come up with. I mean, I'm sure there are a couple exceptions, but not really. Not really any worth mentioning. It's just sad. It really is. And that kind of mentality is dying. Well, we'll slowly go away. But the problem is we're stuck with it, like on our courts and in our laws. And I'm afraid these people aren't going to go willingly. They could have their one last little stand where they try to, basically out of fear of God knows what I don't know, of making their lives better, out of fear of making their lives better, they will start some shit. They will try to start some shit, like another civil war. Okay. And I've talked to a lot of people that are worried about this. This isn't just some paranoia trip, but look at the road we're going down. We're going to have to, we probably are going to have to come to grips with the issue that we're going to have to confront these people at some point. You know what I mean? Or be ready to fucking take them to task out in the streets if we have to. And I'm not advocating for that, okay? I'm not advocating for that. But it may come down to, fighting it out in the streets with them to find out who's right and who's wrong. And we know the answer to that. But it's important that the percentage of good white people out there that hear this, they need to really step up their game and stick up for minorities, Black people, Latinos, other Native Americans, okay? But this fight is going to be a battle between good people and shitty people, and the shitty people are going to be, 99% white people. Okay, you'll have a few. Look, this is my thing as a white guy, okay? I've got so many fucking white people that I need to take to task and shit like that, okay? I'll leave taking Kanye, Stephen A. Snitch, Jason Shitlock. I'll leave taking those fools to task to folks like Canny, Oak, Misty, other folks, okay? I mean, when I look at, I'll just give you my quick thought. When I look at people like that, when I look at African Americans, Black people, the very 1%, 2%, like when I look at that, when I look at them, I don't feel the same madness and anger that I feel towards a white person who's like that. The only emotion that I really have about that, about people like Kanye, is sadness and a little bit of disgust. It's mainly the disgust is really only with Kanye because I never thought he was worth a shit. I grew up when rap was. When that story was first told, and then afterward, no matter how good you were after that, which he wasn't worth a shit, but even people good that came along, that story's already been told. So you can tell your own, but it's already been told. So I could give a shit less about Bootsy and Newsy, and I could not even care who any of these busters are nowadays. But it's not just hip hop with that. I want to make that clear. It's every genre of music, basically, in the last 20 years since everything's become socialized, digitized, and so corporate commercialized. You know what I mean? If somebody like Justin Bieber can become a star, well then fuck, I mean, anybody can, and I don't blame them. I mean, who the hell wouldn't take the glory and the fame? I get it. I understand from their point of view. I understand from whoever the hell Bootsy and Newsy and Hoosie and whoever these other people are, and Machine Gun Kelly, and which is not a very original nickname at all. That comes from some old movie, a war movie. But I could, that, or anybody in these other genres. It's just I'm old and I don't care, and I've heard it before and seen it before, and talk about it when it's something new I've never seen or heard. Okay, wake me up when that happens on that note. But I never thought Kanye was worth a shit, even when he came out. He wasn't that good, I didn't think. He came out right after Jay-Z did. I thought it took a little while to really like Jay-Z's music a little bit for me because I just thought by that time everything was getting commercialized. But I like Jay-Z and how he's matured and everything like that. And he's got a lot of talent, I think, personally. He would have been great had he come up 10 years earlier. It would have been amazing to see. But yeah, I don't get this Kanye talent thing. I don't know. Maybe he is a good mixer and mimicker of shit that he had heard from his suburban home. But anyways, I'll leave criticizing all those other guys, to that part, because white people, to me, those guys are a problem that can be dealt with internally by others. My problem is with the white idiots that they're bowing down to, okay? And those kind of people. And then the people the white idiots, especially with no consciousness that bow down to Trump and bow down to Republicans and religious ideologues as well. They get in this hate mode and these are the kind of people that don't like calmness and peace. They like divide and hate. They like us and them. They like borders. They like all this shit. I see a headline, Trump's threatening to shut down the U.S.-Mexican border. See, I don't believe in borders. We're one planet. I mean, that sounds like kumbaya a little bit, but get real, fucking people. We're one goddamn planet, and everything we do affects each other. And the U.S., as far as I'm concerned, America never was great. It is a war machine. All it is a permanent war machine. That's all we've ever been. We're a permanent war machine that fights within, that controlled, unfortunately, by a very ignorant race of people. If the ones that aren't fucking completely clan carrying card members, well, the most of them are, to me, worse. They're ignorantly racist and bigoted. Okay. I mean, they're ignorant that way. Like, I can't buy into the excuse, well, I've just never been around it, or I didn't. Oh, fuck that shit, okay? I knew coming out of the womb, okay? So maybe I'm different, a little bit weirder than your average white person in a good way, but I don't understand it. I saw it right from the beginning how people were treated of other minorities. I knew it as a little kid, and it hurt me, and it made me cry, sad, and it's bullshit. I don't fucking like it and dig it at all. So, I'm not expecting anybody to cry me a fucking river, believe me. I mean, yes, I'm fucking white, and I realize and understand I've had white privilege growing up. There's no question about it. No fucking doubt about it whatsoever. And if I was a minority, I would tell somebody talking like I was to, if you want sympathy, go look between shit and syphilis in the dictionary. There's your sympathy, because it's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying that it's something I don't understand. I don't understand why these fucking people are so ignorant. Most people of any minority race, especially black people that I've talked to, have a high consciousness level. Okay, they understand fluently. They get things. They know things. Maybe there's 1% to 2% exception in that. But I mean, when you flip it over to the white race, there's about 10% of people that really get it that way, and it's really crazy. And so I just don't know what to say. I would encourage people to really, get out there, get involved, educate yourself, get out there, get involved. That sounds like a cliche, but educate yourself to what's going on. Look at the history, listen to people like Kenny, listen to my perspective. Okay. These aren't really my opinion. These are my thoughts and opinions. Yeah. But this is shit that I've grown up with and seen time and time again. Okay. And, I don't know where we go from here. I'm kind of in limbo. I'm kind of waiting till the 2016 election. Or the 2000, I'm done way past that. Sparky, be cool. My fiance is just getting home. So, gotta open the door real quick. And there you go. Hi. Hi, honey. I'm in the middle of the show. Anyway, so with that being said, I'm just kind of focused on the 2018 midterms right now and seeing where we at and where we go from there. Meanwhile, trying to digest what's going on and get caught up on current news events. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to cut this broadcast short and just let everybody send much love to everybody out there that listens to the channels and the programs. Much love to Oak, Kenny, Misty, which will be doing a show. She'll be doing the show Keeping It Real with Misty, Keeping It Real on Saturday afternoon. Again, that's 3 p.m. on the West Coast, 6 p.m. Eastern. And, of course, don't forget to catch Kenny and Oak on the Black Man Show Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. West Coast, 10 p.m. back on the East. And Kenny does his own thing, too, and does his own shows, now and again. And we're going to get a more permanent schedule down, things of that nature. And I'd like to encourage you all to check out our Facebook page, our Twitter. Of course, we're on Instagram. I guess that's because, Facebook owns Instagram now. But yeah, we are on Instagram. And you can catch our channels, the What's Your Opinion show channel on YouTube. You can catch Opinion But Facts channel, which is ran by Kenny. They're actually both owned by Kenny. I just produce and do shows on this channel here. And also, I'd like to encourage you to check out, if you like to bend your mind a little bit and listen to some people talk about, UFOs or the paranormal. You can check some of my shows out that I've done on Pleiadian Express Productions, one of my channels on YouTube. We have a Facebook page as well, Twitter and all that. And I have a smaller channel, the Pleiadian Light Grid Project, where I do some of my old channelings I used to do and some comedy. I do a lot of comedy shows on there, and just kind of the channel that I use to experiment with things. My dog's getting all excited. But I just like to send much love out to everybody. And good people, stay united no matter what color you are. Seriously, stay united for what's right. Believe in yourself. Go within. Don't look for the answers without. You can look for some guidance without. But nobody knows more than you. Nobody is going to save you but you, okay? And you are your own guru. You are you. You are your own guru. You do not need a messiah or some cult-like figure to look up to and worship. It's just not. You don't need heroes or idols or things like that. Those are for the past, and that's just how it goes. And I'd like to send much love out to my fiance, Sif Guru's daughter. I'm standing right here right now, but with that being said, people, I'll get better at this. This is my first time back in the saddle again. I was really nervous to talk on air because of it, just it's been a while, and I've been recuperating. Pancreatitis is not fun to go through. So I'm looking forward to my MRIs I've got to have with my claustrophobia and things of that nature. So, but right now I'm going to focus on putting some groceries away and catching the Lakers Blazer game tonight in about 2.5 hours my time. So with that, I'd like to again tune in this Saturday, the same channel, to Keeping It Real with Miss D. You'll hear me on there a little bit. I'll be producing it. But Miss D never has a shortage. Never has a shortage of wisdom and information to share. She is in tune with the topics going on and multiple ones at once. And we have to when we're talking before, we have to even trim the list down a little bit. And she's got it under control, and she knows what she's going to talk about. And it'll be interesting. I'll be announcing that tomorrow night. I'll put out the announcement for the show actually formally, and put out there, a few issues that Miss D may touch on. We'll see. I'll talk with her tomorrow. But again, I want to send much love to everybody, and I'm out. The big cosmic dating game kiss to everybody around the world. Mwah. Except